Still doing this bit, huh? Yippee fucking Skippy. Hey everybody on the internets. Welcome again to another edition of Give It a Shot. The show where I sometimes throw a bunch of DVDs in a box, shake it up, and whatever comes loose, that's what I decide to review. It's stunning material. Because I'm a content creator. But let's see what we got on the menu today. Probably more misery. That we do. Right off the top, I have Wisharoo Park. The cover art does not match the pictures in the back. Just letting you know. One that's been lingering on worse than a lot of cancerous moles people have. Sky Dancers. The sky's the limit and getting the story. Well, whatever it is, she looks miserable. I feel miserable. Throw that fucker in. Next, we have Sing Along with Gina D, Volume 1, which implies that there's a sequel. Joy upon joys. Maybe I'll get this someday. Won't that be a blessed day? Then we have Doodlebops Superstars, which... And the newest entry into Give It a Shot. This is Lalaloopsy Ponies, The Big Show. I thought he was a wrestler, not a horse show. These are the jokes. Hope you like them. So, put it in the box. We're going to shake the box up. Sounds like I broke one. Not that I care. What did I get? Oh, goody! We get to sing along with Gina D! Whatever, let's just get this over with. You cursed me again! Well, we're not going to need shots today. No. This is so horrifying that fuck shots. I'm drinking straight today. Straight, I do not care. This This was shit. Now, I could easily just dismiss it as children's fare because that's exactly what this is. This is an educational program for children. And I dealt with learning numbers. Okay, that's simple. But this is a little bit above what you would typically see in terms of production value from like a pilot. This was an actual series. Apparently 3 seasons worth. I had to look that up. And so there were a few seasons of it. So you're with Gina D, learning in this particular DVD about numbers. Okay. It follows certain tropes. It follows certain tropes that children's programming should have. When you do things like counting or the alphabet, you should have music. It does that. A lot. A whole lot. Except there's one fatal flaw with this. The way they do it is a little scattershot, shall we say. But let's get to the premise of this whole thing before I lose my mind. Anywho, Gina D is our host. Gina has her kids clubhouse, which is just her house. So she's just inviting any strange child into her home, as you typically do. And she has two little puppet friends. One's named Hammy, I think. The other one's a cat. I think it was Kitty. I don't remember because I was horrified by things that I will get into later. So she's got some relatively cheap puppets. No articulation on them. Their heads move and the eyes are just blank stares. That's fine. Gina herself, she just has this smile on her face, which, don't look into it too long, it will steal your soul. Really. And they're learning about numbers. So we get to go through all these different ways in which we can count. Yay! Yes, drive that stuff home. Kids need to learn to count, because Lord only knows, I still have students in college who can't, as far as I can tell, because they sure as hell can't tell time. But that's neither here nor there. Anywho, Gina's not really my problem, but she is a contributor to it. There's really no format to this whole thing. It's just continual little vignettes about counting, and I'm going to go through them all. Like, there is one thing though at the end that's kind of a nice wrap up, but it's also padding.
It's fun to sit down and write a letter to tell my grandma what we did at the kids club today.
Gina likes to write letters to grandma about what they did, so basically it, makes it easier for production value if you just replay the shit you've been talking about. I mean, yeah, it's a nice summary, but I know what you're doing. You're cutting costs here. So, I don't know why I bother. I might just put these things upside down now. Gina has a lot of music in her programming, which is fine. I mean, music works to help memorize things. But Gina's apparently not a good singer. Gina uses a lot of auto-tune. An unhealthy amount of auto-tune. Just roll it.
Oh yeah. What is your favorite? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Your favorite number. Oh yeah. What is your favorite? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Your favorite number.
Yeah, it's not very good. And the problem with me and this whole thing is I do this, and I know this is insanely biased because of where I'm from and what I grew up with, but I'm sorry. The gold standard in children's programming will always be Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Believe it or not, despite the way that I am, Fred Rogers is one of my heroes. Yes, this screams Fred Rogers influence. All up and down. So everything that I draw comparisons to when it comes to children's programming always goes back to Fred. So, is this anywhere close? No, it is not. In any way, shape, or form. Fucking drink this. Oh, God. Gamer boys are... No wonder they die early. Oh, God. Anywho. Gina's not really, like I said earlier, my problem. She can't really sing. She has a very awkward smile. She probably has the best screen presence in the group. But that's not saying much, because it's her supporting cast in the other segments that... Oh boy, they're the ones that, I don't have words for some of them. So, let's just break this down in terms of, I'm gonna say from least bad to holy shit, what were you thinking? Here we go. Top of the scale, mainly because I didn't see them much and they seemed pretty harmless, were two mascots that were dancing and counting numbers, because again, this is what this entire thing was about. I think the one was called TV... One was called TV Ted. He had a head with a TV on, a head, TV for a head, and it said TV Ted on his shirt, so I'm assuming that's his name. He had a dog friend, and they were both singing with some kids in a park, and there was a fountain and some shit. Singing about numbers. Pretty innocuous. Because I didn't have much of an interaction with them, they are fine. In fact, they're probably the best part of this entire thing. Cool with me. Followed by the Frenchman. I don't remember his name. But he does an interesting twist with numbers. He counts in English, French, and Spanish to 6.
Today we learn to count in English, French, and Spanish.
Okay, cool. That's a nice twist. Usually if you're going to go with another one, you'd go to Spanish. That's fine. We're going to learn 3 of them. Alright, slight innovation. Cool. He wasn't too bad. His French accent was not great. It was exaggerated, but kids programming. It is what it is. Third was the guy who, he's obviously Australian, mate. And he really drives it home. He's in a lot of the segments. I don't remember his name. I think his name is Sydney. I think.
Simon has a game for us to play called What Number's Missing?
It's probably what it is, because that's all anybody knows about Australia is Sydney and Tasmania, but Sydney. And he's okay. He does one interesting segment where he creates a craft with a glove.
There's 2 parents, daddy, mommy, and 3 children.
And you can make a family with a glove, and it was kind of cute, although the father looks like a penis. So there's that. And so he's just... He's only there. He's at number 3 because he's just obnoxious. Because he's in a lot of it. Like he does a counting game with the couch creatures, is what I'm gonna call them.
Just a few more blocks and we can start the game.
And he does this crafts thing, and his nose, which has to be some sort of cosmetic, is distracting as all get out. So He's 3. Those are the tolerable characters. Then we have the kids, which the kids are present in a couple of different bits. The intro, for one, they're working around a green screen. They don't know what they're doing. That's fine. And then the song where they're talking about counting and jumping rope and learning about 1, 2, buckle my shoe, and 3, 4, shut the door. They're just awkward. So they're kind of in the middle. And they are fine. But then come the rest. The top of the shit pile, the least fucked up and foul is the segment known as Bobo Blocks. I didn't see any of the block people, which was in the title of this part, but I saw what I'm assuming is Bobo. Bobo is a monkey who owns a farm. And on this farm, he has a singing horse who all he does is bo, 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 bo. He's the bass. And then he sings about a chicken having 2 eggs and they hatch, and the 3 pigs that befriend the 2 chicks. And there was no creativity in this song. I mean, nothing really rhymes. It's just statement of facts.
3 little pigs singing in their pen. Oink, 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 oink. Down on Bobo Farm.
It's like if Peppa Pig decided to write music, this is what it would be. Because there's a lot of fucking filler. Just what it is. So, it's not good CG at all. And the story of it is not interesting, but again, children's show, trying not to, belabor that point, but it's kind of hard. Then we hit the bottom. And first starts with a clown. Now, I'm not afraid of clowns. I do find them creepy as I've gotten older. When I was younger, not so much, but as I've grown older, I have started to get a little skeeved out by clowns. I am skeeved out, if not horrified, of this clown. This clown's name is Mr. Pockets. Mr. Pockets scares me because when he speaks, he sounds like Elmo being tortured in hell.
You count how many?
He didn't speak much in the show, thank God, because if I'd have had to deal with extended dialogue with Mr. Pockets, this would be empty right now, because I'd have chugged the whole fucking thing there.
1, 2, 3, 4. No more.
Fuck you, Mr. Pockets. You barely said a fucking word. And I still hear you in my head. I hear it plain as day. And I thought that was the bottom of the barrel. But you know what Gina D said? This is what Gina D said. Gina D said, guess what? You thought that was the bottom? Just check this out. We found another layer. And they dug that shit up. And that layer is Julie Muffin. Now, I'm assuming, and I don't care if it makes an ass out of you and me, but I'm assuming this is some sort of homage to Julia Child, which, because children in 2006 know who the fuck that is. But we'll go with it. Fine. Cool. You know, I sometimes joke about this is how I'm bouncing now, and I'm getting right into the camera's face about how serious I am about this shit right now. I have made jokes in the past about my reviews that I have not known true terror until this day. I mean this when I say this about Julie Muffin, or Julian Muffin, or whatever her fucking first name is. I just remember it's Muffin. That character is by far the worst iteration of all the sickening tropes of cynical production combined into one thing.
All aboard! Wooden spoons!
So you have a person who is dressed up to be an old lady doing a cooking show, I'm assuming. But she's going to sing about counting, just like we've been doing the entire episode. Fine. Drill that shit home. Kids ought to know how to count. It's important. It really is. But then Miss Muffin cranks up the shit meter all the way to max with what she does.
We're counting cookies! 1 through 4!
Because she starts rapping about counting cookies.
Here's the fish! Here's cookie number 1! Hammy's number 2! Wow, this is fun! Counting cookies!
I, in the past, have used harsh words to criticize one Hip Hop Harry. I never really liked Hip Hop Harry. His raps were whack. Although I did have a student who confessed in class to liking Hip Hop Harry, and basically because I wanted it out of my collection, and she genuinely liked Hip Hop Harry for reasons that escape me, I gave her that DVD. So that is out of my life now. Thank God. But Julian Muffin makes Hip Hop Harry sound like a card-carrying member of the Wu-Tang Clan. In comparison, she's doing all these weird dance moves, singing about counting cookies, and as if that wasn't bad enough, she does this thing with her mouth.
Cookies! We're counting cookies!
Oh, God! Oh! Because I hate myself, and I'm not a fan of any of this, and I want this burned in your damn memory. Put that shit on slow-mo and play that fucking thing back. So, that's what we're dealing with here. I got a host who looks not incredibly comfortable in front of the camera, can't sing, so she has to be auto-tuned, has a supporting cast, which makes me pine for death, and an overall production value that can be best described as cheap shit. It's not the worst cheap shit. It's like they aspired for Blue's Clues and then said, well, fuck it, we'll just use whatever cheap sock puppets we can use. And we'll go from that. Somebody obviously had a fever dream when they thought Mr. Pockets was a necessity for this, because he's not, and he's scary. And Miss Julian Muffin is the grand epitome of everything I hate. And then she creeps you the fuck out with her tongue action. But other than that, the damn thing's fine. Boring, but fine. But I'll say this. That was a half hour that felt like an eternity. Except for those moments of tongue action. And high-pitched screaming.
No more!
And I swear, if Mr. Pockets laughed and he sounded like a Tickle Me Elmo, I'd have jumped out of my fucking seat. It ain't cool, bro. This shit is fucking scarring. I didn't even bother with shots today. That's how fucking bad this is. I'm drinking the fucking can. And I've almost drank the entire fucking thing. Because this shit's so bad. I'm just glad I didn't buy the large can to pour into here. Because I'm going to be sick as all get out here in a little bit, because this shit always fucks with me. That's why I kind of do this. It's a weird form of torture that I give myself, because content creator. I'm not saying this one broke me, but it made me question a lot of shit. A lot of shit. You know? Like this whole channel, all I do is, I like to review shit. Anything family oriented, I like to do. It's fun. But I'm always impressed by like what people are willing to do for entertainment. You know, some people are very cynical and they're doing this for a cash grab. Others have genuine intent to try and make something nice, and well, expectations did not meet reality. There's a reason why I found this at Wonder Books. And, oh boy. It's a thing. Alright. I failed to mention that this is also a Christian-based thing, because up here in the corner it says featuring a message from God. I guess about Adam and Eve, but I didn't get that because I only watched the first episode, so... Oh boy. Probably thankful I didn't see that. So, would I recommend you to watch this ever? No. 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 If I had to summarize this entire thing in 2 seconds, I'd just show everybody this again. Don't watch this shit. If you ever see a copy of this shit, burn it. Maybe wipe your ass with the DVD first, which that sounds really painful, but I don't really care. Do that. It'll probably improve the quality of the image. Not that you're ever going to play it, but just fucking bury it or burn it or something. Just never see it yourself. I suffer so that you don't have to sit through this sort of thing. Not that anybody would, but I'm doing it Because it's my calling, I guess. Fuck, man. This has been an emotional roller coaster, as you can tell. Damn you, Mystery Box. Sometimes you really know how to fuck with me. Bottoms up, bitches. Fuck, we're finishing this. We're finishing this fucker. I hope to the good Lord that my suffering here does not violate some sort of YouTube community guidelines. But it feels like it. I don't know. So, that's all for this edition of Give It a Shot. Y'all have a wonderful day. Toodles!